Good morning and welcome to Wholesome Roots Farmstead. This morning I have to do one of the most difficult tasks of being a goat owner. I have to disbud my kids. It is a controversial subject. Some goat owners don't believe in disbudding and believe that it's more natural to leave them on. And with me being all about having more natural things in my herd, you might be surprised that I actually choose to disbud. The reason why I disbud is because I want my animals to be safe. That is my number one priority, is to keep them healthy and safe, whether it's through natural methods or other. And I've also been around a lot of goat herds and seen a lot of things, and the ones that have horns are the ones that end up with injuries or death. And I am not wanting that to happen to any of my animals. It is a very painful process, but it is a very quick pain that goes away pretty quick. The kids will be bouncing around seconds, literally, after it happening. And I will use ice and, you know, try to soothe them that way. But most of all, they'll go and they'll nurse on their mom and they'll be happy. Right from then on, they're not going to act like anything is bothering them. So I know because I've done it. So here I am. I got to do it again. I got 3 babies to do this morning, so I'm hoping you get a video of one of those for you. All right. So we have this kid box that fits them perfectly, made for this job specifically. Now she's a little upset because she just heard her 2 boy cousins get their horns done, and they weren't happy about it. So this is something that you, all right, she's getting there, should do at an early age before the horns really start to grow. You want to feel the tops of their head, and when you start to feel a bump, that's usually a perfect time. We went a little bit past the time that we should have, so she's got a little bit more horn than we would normally like. First thing you do is shave. So once we shave off all the hair around the tops of the horns, make sure you put on your leather gloves, preferably ones a little thicker than this, heat proof so that you don't burn yourself. And then you're gonna do 5 to 10 second interval burns. The goal is 10 seconds, but I like to do 5 and then knock off the bud and then do 5 more. So that is my goal. And you always want to hold the ears back and have your ice pack ready to put it on. And you're just going to press down gently but firmly to keep them from wiggling. So you see where I've got the ring going all the way around. I do that in a rocking motion. I'm gonna go ahead and ice that before because I'm talking. I don't want to be uncomfortable. And then, oh, see, it already knocked off all by itself. It's just naturally comes off and you burn again. And that's it. Normally, this guy has a little bit of extra horn on top. So I'm just going to place the top of my iron like so. That helps prevent it from growing in the future. And if you see any blood coming out, then you'll want to burn for a second more just to cauterize it. Just for a second. Also, something I didn't point out was you test your iron on a wooden block first to make sure that it's hot enough that it's going to do the proper job. In between horns, you want to let your iron heat up a little bit because the iron being on the skull actually brings the temperature down, so you want to bring it back up by letting it heat back up for a second. All right, so you're going to do a rocking motion is my preferred way. There are many different ways to do this. So Ryan, will you count for me?
Sure. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000.
A little bit longer to get that blood.
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000.
There we go. We're almost there, buddy.
1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000.
We've got that copper ring around the outside, so I know I've burned enough. And I'm just going to burn the little tippity top there on the side of my iron to make sure that it's not going to grow or bleed or anything. And then oh, you should put I know. It is the most horrible sound. It's the most horrible smell. It's the most horrible job. I don't even know if I'm going to post this video. That's how hard it is for me to do this. Like I want to cry every time I do it. I know that for the life of this herd, it is the best thing, even if it's hard. Jump on it, baby. All right. Then after you do the disbudding, where did my blue coat go? You want to apply a drop of tea tree oil or melaleuca and blue coat, which is about what horn burner I use. It's the Model X30 from Reinhardt. That's what most goat owners use. Some use ones that are a little bit more powerful, but you can't leave them on the head as long, so you don't always get the same results. So I'm using blue coat just as an antiseptic. There's no bleeding happening. There's no blood on this baby's head. We're just making sure that it stays nice and clean and getting her back to her mama. That is going to be what makes her the happiest right now. And you watch out for that iron. Don't want anybody touching that. That thing's hot. And that's it. What do you think, Cream? Are you traumatized? Are you okay? You see she's not crying anymore at all. Look, she's giving me a hug. Now she just wants to nurse on mommy. So that's what we're going to have her do. All right. Bringing her back to her mama. That's where she wants to be. Creamy. Is this on?
Yes.
Oh, helpers. All right. Get her to her mama. And the first thing she does is nurse. And you see the other two babies? They were done right before Cream. And they had much bigger horns because they're bucklings. And they're fine. They're running around, they're playing, they're nursing. They're just good to go. And little Cream is fine. Just giving mama some extra love. It's more scary than it is painful, I think. And you see, Mr. Fluffernutter, they did his horns way more severe than I do. You see that? Those burn marks are all the way to his skull. Why are you getting so close? So he's and he's fine. So you know that, you know, even if you have to burn a little further, it's okay too. But I'm gonna keep an eye on the ones that I did today and check them next week and see if they need a little adjustment, because I did do it a little too late. And that's what I recommend against, is always do it on time. 10 days old is best usually. Some people do it sooner, some people do it later. Really, you could do it at any point, but being able to fit in the kid box really makes a big difference. I mean, if I wanted to, I could take Eugene's little scurs that he has and burn those off, but that wouldn't be fun for him, and they're not getting caught on anything. That's the big risk, is getting caught. So there you have it. It's not fun. It's the worst job, completely the worst job on the farm, is to burn those babies' horns. But they're fine. Look at them. Look at them. Just going about their business, eating, hanging out, chillaxing. They're not crying. They're happy. So I think it only hurts for a second. When it's happening, it hurts, of course. Of course it hurts. The ice helps. And going to mommy helps the most, because I think it's more mental trauma than it is physical. That's that. So I just loaded all of the video from the disbudding I did this morning, and I noticed there were a few things I left out, so I just wanted to kind of recap a few things. First of all, one of the things I didn't mention is the most important, and that is to be very careful that you do not hold the iron on for too long. You can cause injury to their brain if you do so. If you hold it on there too long and the temperature inside of their brain gets too high, it'll cause brain swelling, and that is not something you want. The other thing that I was wanting to mention is that there are different ways to do it. Some people do a figure 8, and they'll put 2 rings next to each other so that the edge of the iron is wrapped around the horn on one side and then wrapped around the horn on the other side, making a figure 8. Then another thing is the last step that I did, where I laid the side of the iron on top of the horn. Some people do an X with the edge of the iron on top of that horn. So this disbudding process is going to make it so that my goats will not grow horns. That is important to me in my herd and keeping them safe, because a horn can puncture another animal. It can get caught on the fence and actually hang the goat and cause them to die. So those are things I really don't want happening. So although it is controversial and there are some reasons to not do it, I personally choose to do it. I hope that doesn't upset anybody. I hope this video doesn't offend anybody, and I hope that you all can see the value in the education that this has provided, because I've really been on the fence about whether I would post this video or not. But I am choosing in favor of education and learning how to do it, and why I choose to do it, I think is really important for you guys, as well as for my personal feelings in making the decision to post this video. So I hope you learned something from it, and I hope that you all have a great evening, and know that my babies are well taken care of and they're getting lots of love. So you guys come back and see us again.